Hello YouTube, this is Cool-lectables, and today I'd like to take you on a tour of the state of my watch collection. First, I want to start with my grandfather's old watch. My grandfather passed away, and after he passed away, my grandmother gave me this watch. There's actually a photo of my grandfather holding me as a very young kid wearing this watch, so this will forever be in my collection. It's a Seiko Railroad. It's pretty nifty. I didn't wear it a ton when she gave it to me because the battery, was not working and I was kind of afraid to mess it up. But as I became more and more into watches, I'm like, no, I have to wear and admire this. I think it looks vintage. You could see the red kind of hour markers around on the inside have, like the military time hours, have patinaed and become more of a pink color. I think it looks really cool. This is a smaller sized watch, which makes sense because my grandpa, would have bought this 20 plus years ago, or maybe 30 plus years ago, probably in the 80s. Could even be 40 years ago. So the proportions were very different. The style was different, but I think it holds up great. I put on a new leather strap, and I think it just goes really well. I should probably wear this more as an honor to him, but I'm a little worried with it around water based on the condition it's in. So I try not to wear it when I know I'll be washing my hands a lot or going out a lot or etc. The next watch I want to show you is a Citizen Eco Drive. For those that don't know, the Eco Drive, it kind of absorbs sunlight and artificial lighting, and it continues to power it. It can last way longer than a normal battery, and it's really cool. You basically set it and forget it unless you lock it in a closet for a while. It's an integrated type of style. I think it also proportionally looks great on my wrist. It's much larger than my grandpa's, but kind of contorts to the wrist nice. This is very personal to me. I spent my first paycheck on this one and just at a Macy's like normal people do, and the colors look like the football team, what I would say the San Diego Chargers. Shout out to all those, if you know, you know. And yeah, that was my very first watch. I guess I could put my watches here for y'all. Very first paycheck watch, and I wore the death out of that. I wore it to play football. I wore it to the gym. That kind of became my daily. Here is the next watch I kind of bought, and I bought this in law school. It is the first automatic watch I believe I've ever owned. So it's a skeleton dial. It's like a rose gold kind of plated and leather strap. It's actually one of the most comfortable leather straps I've ever had, which is interesting based on the price point of this, which was cheap, maybe $100, and it was on Groupon of all places. So yeah, it's a sterling original. I think, once you wind it, it's not the greatest winding experience, but it's not bad. But to see the gears kind of move and spin, I always thought that was cool. I wish more luxury brands did kind of open case back and skeleton work. I know a lot do, but they're insanely expensive. But I mean, if you're a fan of like mechanical and for that it's has a heartbeat and it's actually moving, it's not just, battery operated. I mean, that's kind of what you're paying for there. So it's cool to see the gears individually move there. So that's a symbolic one. Very first ever, purchase like that. The next watch kind of kickstarted my watch obsession. This was actually a Kickstarter watch. This is a Filippo Loretti. I actually don't even fully know how to pronounce that, so pardon me if I mistook it. But basically this is it was one of the first Kickstarter watches, or is the most successful Kickstarter campaign. I think they raised $5 million. They made all these promises, but then news kept coming out that it was actually Chinese owned, and all these promises they made about kind of the quality you were getting for it was exaggerated, and all these kind of issues came out with it. So the brand kind of tanked, the product tanked, And I got it super cheap after all that, not like hyped up. But it's cool. It's got a moon phase. It's got a perpetual calendar. Like it's got the month, the day of the week, and the day. My only problem with this watch is at the top, reading the date. I don't know if you could tell on camera. To me, it's very unclear. And that's how it is in real life. I cannot really read that. It's not super legible. But otherwise, I love this watch. I somewhat wish I bought it in like the blue and rose gold configuration so that the colors would pop a little better. But I really like it. I wore it to Europe. I think it worked great there. And I am a huge fan of a good moon phase. Another watch that kind of inspired me in YouTube was this D1 Milano watch. If you can tell, it's kind of a Royal Oak AP ripoff or highly inspired design, but it looks hand-drawn, like someone did it with pen and paper. And I think it's really cool. It reminds me of something from SpongeBob, if anyone knows Doodle Bob. Again, if you know, you know. Doodle Bob is great. And yeah, it's integrated bracelet. It feels kind of large, but I think it looks kind of cool for what it is. It's more of a fun watch. I used to wear it more, and now I've kind of stopped wearing it very often. So, you know, I guess it's on the chopping block, but I don't think there's too much value there in that watch. So another watch that I picked up after that would have been, this was kind of my, I want a dive watch, a Submariner that looks nice and clean and there's a good deal. But what made me fall in love with this is the adventuring dial and the date window at the 6 o'clock. So the bezel sounds great, but a little mushy. Not the best. This is a Revlot Microbrand and pretty affordable, a couple $100. It does have a display case back, but it's like a honeycomb pattern on the outside, so you really can't even see the gears moving. So it's kind of pointless. I think it fits well. I mean, it's thin and relatively for basically being a Submariner. Oh, and it's called the Hex Mariner because it uses a bunch of hexagons. So it's kind of a play on that, but there's a lot of unique characteristics here. And yeah, the bezel is not great when I use it underwater, like in the jacuzzi or pool. It's really hard to get a grip. I kind of have to use like a towel to spin it. So I think great for the money based on the adventuring dial. I don't think the camera is picking up too well, but it really does sparkle in the sun like adventuring would, and it's black adventuring. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, it's been a tremendous beater if I'm doing something hardcore with the kids or in the water. That's definitely my go-to. One of my favorite microbrands, I guess I would say it is my favorite microbrand, is this Lorison moon phase. This watch tracks the moon with a very large display. It has a cool, like where the moon is lit up with global light, and looks great in the dark as well as during the day. It also has adventuring. That's kind of where this theme ends of my adventuring love. And again, probably the camera is not picking up too well with this lighting, but very cool dial. I put a black strap on it to kind of give it like the nighttime effect. And yeah, this one, I'll try it on, but it has, oh, and it is a display case back. Not the fanciest movement or anything, but yeah, I love moon phases. I think they are the most interesting complication to me. Probably the least useful, if we're being honest. I definitely don't use it for anything other than, oh, that's really cool, is kind of where that analysis ends. But I think it looks great. I think Lorison did a great job on this. It's definitely different than the Christopher Ward version, which simply has the moon. I think this is cool how they have the hour markers along the end so that you can actually tell the time and read it in the dark, which is a cool touch. And it's definitely not a ripoff of that. I guess this watch actually came to market first before the blueprints were even released for the Christopher Ward. So I'm not sure, even though the Christopher Ward kind of technically released first. So not sure if it's a ripoff or if they both kind of just coincidentally had unique designs. This next watch is a Citizen. My wife actually bought me this. I told her I wanted a gold and black watch, and this is what she bought me. I think it's a beautiful watch, very timeless looking. It's also probably the most comfortable like bracelet, kind of steel bracelet watch I have. It's PVD coated, it's not real gold, obviously, with Citizen. In the date window, being white at the bottom, the contrast, sometimes it bothers me, sometimes I really like it. But either way, overall, truly love this watch. Wore it to our wedding, wore it during my son's birth. And yeah, I think it's been a great watch to wear, something you can kind of dress up or wear casually. It's still gold, like one of my favorite sport teams. So yeah, cool watch. Great job, wife. Love you very much. The next watch is a watch I got very obsessed with. This is a Tag Heuer Formula One watch, and it's got the Mario Kart kind of branding all over this. So this is a special edition Mario Kart version. I love Mario Kart. I think I'm one of the best players out there. I'd love to challenge any of you subscribers one day. But yeah, this is a chronograph. It's got a little Mario kind of character there, and it's got a date window, which is cool because every 5th day there's a new Mario logo. So there's the mushroom that you can see, which is really big in the racing game. There's the banana peel, and on the 25th you have the red shell. 30 you have the bullet. 5 you have the invincibility star. And 10 the blue shell. I think that's all of them. Yeah. So really cool watch. It's a chronograph. It even has like the shell kind of design for the leather strap. It's got the Mario logo on the clasps there. It's even got the red M on the, the crown. And, these red touches here on the pushers, I think look great. One of the coolest features too is the case back has the Mario Kart branding, and it's a limited edition. I think there were only 3,000 of these. So very cool. The only problem is it is massive. It's like over 15 millimeters thick. I think they do a good job with it though. It's kind of in this like tortoiseshell pillowcase shape, so it doesn't look like too thick, but it is definitely chunky monkey on the wrist. And I'm trying to pick up, it has kind of like a race flag design on the dial, but it's a little hard with the glare. There you go. So yeah, it's a great watch. As I go more and more into smaller, thinner watches, it does tend to kind of bug me sometimes. It's also not comfortable, but that's usually just when I'm holding one of my children. The clasp really digs into me. But yeah, for now, I'm definitely keeping it. Maybe I will move on eventually from it. But for now, it's great. It's steady. Everything. The next watch I have is Cartier Tank. So this is like a vintage 70s or 80s style. It's got tricolor, so there's like white gold, yellow gold, and rose gold kind of coloring there. And it's on a brown leather strap, which looks more brown in the sunlight, but it does look darker kind of at night or in darker lit areas. And it has blued hands. So this is a gold-plated silver watch. So it's silver, and then they plated it in gold. I bought this used, obviously. Or maybe that's not obvious, but I was not born way back when. And yeah, it's a tiny tank on my big wrist, but I really love it. I think everyone needs a tiny tank in their collection because it is just timeless. It is classy. I sometimes for work have to wear suits, and I think it just fits that. Here's a much better view of it. Yeah, it's a cool watch. Pretty affordable for gold, essentially. And yeah, wouldn't trade it for anything. at this point, but maybe in the future. It's on the chopping block. I know Cartier is making a lot better sized, proportioned watches these days, so maybe something in between the tiny tank and just a small tank. Here's my Tudor Blue Lagoon. This also kind of requires good lighting, which I'm filling you guys on tonight. But yeah, the dial is truly spectacular. It looks more muted on camera here, but it's got a really textured dial. And yeah, it just sparkles really cool. It's summer kind of vibes. And this is actually a 37, so most people call it unisex. I think it still looks pretty masculine, definitely on the feminine side, but it looks great with the Jubilee and the mirrored bezel. I was pretty horrified about the mirrored bezel, but it's been pretty scratch free. And I haven't babied it. I've worn it at the beach and the pool, etc. So it is a great option. By the way, if you haven't already, if you could like, subscribe, and keep staying along for the content, I really appreciate it. I know we got a lot of new subscribers and viewers on my Rolex reveal video, so I appreciate all of you for that. And thanks for all the encouragement. But yeah, in that video, I kind of talked about the Blue Lagoon and how this was actually my first purchase from an AD. And this had just come out, and I basically prepaid for it. And within only a month, my AD was able to get it for me. And yeah, within 2 more months after that, I got the call for my first Rolex from an authorized dealer. So yeah, very cool watch, is kind of the stepping stone to me actually now having a good relationship with an AD, whereas my prior one I had no luck with. So if you're struggling to get an allocation, just keep trying. Just keep trying. Here is a JLC Reverso. It is also a smaller Reverso. You have blue hour markers and hands there with a small seconds. This has the best winding action I've ever had on a watch. It's just so easy. It's so smooth. It sounds great. And it's cool to kind of watch the small seconds go by. And if you don't know what a Reverso is, boom, has a second side. You can set this to a different time, so it basically functions as a GMT. It's on a blue leather crocodile strap. And yeah, this has really become one of my favorite watches. I think they look way better, smaller proportions. Some of the more modern ones are just massive, especially if you have a duo phase. And the fact that this is so thin and small, but has 2 watches kind of in one, is pretty impressive. And this is really quickly, or slowly, I don't know which word I used before, but I would say it's quickly becoming one of my favorites. Definitely top 3, probably. So yeah, love to wear that for work with a blue suit or gray suit, or casually with a t-shirt, anything really. The next one I want to talk about is the Rolex that I was just allocated literally 2 days ago. So yeah, this was pretty awesome. I was working. I thought I was getting a call from the pharmacy because I was waiting on a prescription to be filled. And no, it was my Rolex authorized dealer calling from the main store number, not her personal work phone. So had no idea I was getting the call that day. I got the call. I had to take my son and rush over there and play hooky from work to pick up this Rolex. And this is what the unboxing video I did. And man, you can see that dive bezel, or maybe you can't, but the clicking, the smoothness is so much better than this Microbrand that I was just showing earlier. You can see how they're kind of very different, but inspired for sure by the Submariner. So this is commonly referred to as the Starbucks because it is in the same kind of green as the Starbucks. That's the Rolex green. And yeah, it's definitely a chunky boy. I know I've said repeatedly throughout this video that I'm going towards smaller watches, but it fits great. The proportions are still great, even though it's chunky. And yeah, it'll get the job done. It's brushed. I think that's perfect for my lifestyle with kids and dogs and, being relatively young. I know 31 doesn't feel as young as I used to, but yeah, still a great age for running around with something sturdy. Next, and we have 2 left, one after this, is my Chopard. This is actually a mother of pearl dial, which catches blue, green, purple light. Let's see it back here. You can kind of see it better. And this is fully gold, so not gold plated. So this is technically my only full gold watch. And yeah, I'm starting to love precious metal. I think they do a great job. It is automatic, but no seconds hand. I kind of wish I had a seconds hand, but I understand. That's how dress watches were, especially in this vintage model, which again is probably 30 years old. And a cool thing about this is it is limited edition to only 1,000. I don't know that means too much because who's, kind of collecting Chopard at this point, but maybe in the future that becomes collectible, and with only 1,000, I think it's cool. I have, just really begun falling in love with this one. The winding is not the best experience, but it gets the job done. I don't know. I don't have to be too picky on that. But yeah, I just think it's smaller than most people like these days, but I love it a little bit smaller than normal people would. And yeah, when it hits the light just right, it just looks great, but then it's on a black strap and it's gold, so it literally goes with everything. And yeah, this has become my wife's favorite watch for me as well. She loves when I wear that. She's pretty impressed by it. So we're gonna get to my last watch. This will officially be the first watch I will ever sell. Probably not the last, but it will be the first. This is my Rolex Pepsi on Jubilee. For most people, this is a grail. For me, it was as well. It has great history. It's one of the first, or is the first GMT watch. It was given to Pan Am, to celebrate the flight and for the people working aboard that. So it's got great history. It's on Jubilee, which is gorgeous. It's also super comfortable. It's functional because it can tell a second time zone with the red hour marker there. And it has a twisting bezel that can kind of be a fidget spinner. Yeah, it literally can be the only watch you wear. And it was for me for a while. I have a lot of watches, but this one definitely dominated when I got it. I bought it off the gray market, so I did not get this from Rolex. And yeah, the proportions are great. It feels a little thinner than the Submariner. It's probably the perfect watch for a lot of people, grail watch for a lot of people. So the question then becomes, why am I selling the Pepsi? Well, one, I got the call for the sub. I figured my AD got me 2 pretty in demand or very in demand. Most people would say, a lot of people would say the Starbucks is a grail for them as well. So 2 watches of such popularity in 2 or 3 months, I think 3 months and like 3 days, is insane. So I had to buy it. And I don't really want to sell this one. I mean, it's brand new, whereas the Pepsi is from 2018. And yeah, I love the Jubilee, but I have kind of the Tudor, whose Jubilee bracelet is super comfortable. It does the same function. It really holds up well to the Pepsi in all regards. And on a personal level, the Pepsi is pretty not legible. I know you'll see a lot of YouTubers saying it's legible and it's great and easy to read. For me, I don't know, something about the GMT hand really obstructs my vision of it. But yeah, I will miss this watch dearly. I have a lot of memories with it. I liked the red and blue. I think for 4th of July, it was so cool to wear that with, my kind of ridiculous red, white, and blue outfit or whatever I wanted to choose. It's just, you kind of could walk in any room and think, wow, I have the coolest watch no matter what someone's wearing in here. Like, I have like a hype watch that's super cool. But as you can see from my collection, I like a lot of non-hype. And that's why I'll bring in the Chopard, which I've never even heard of this till I saw it. And once I saw it, I'm like, I need it. I sold some Pokemon cards actually to afford it. So the Pepsi will be dearly, dearly missed. I may even in the future, especially if I get allocated one, at retail from Rolex, look to pick this up again. But for now, this one will be leaving the collection. I will maybe shed a tear, or at least a metaphorical one, but it was a great run. And for now, I will continue with my Rolex journey and other watches journey with the Starbucks. And that's all for my watch collection that I'll be sharing today. But thank you all so much. And yeah, go look into smaller watches if you're considering something. I think there's great value on the used market for that. And if you're struggling to get allocated a watch from a Rolex AD, try a new one or try a new sales rep. Just call and say, hey, I'd like to try on watches today. And they'll assign you someone random and just do it, shake it up. If you haven't had the call in a long time, maybe it's time to just do something new without having to spend a lot. I mean, I bought one Tudor that was pretty in demand, so I don't think I, bowed down or played any games to get that 2 within 3 months, and that was a watch I genuinely wanted. So yeah, just keep trying, and thank you all so much. This is the state of my collection, and we'll see how it changes over the next year. So thank you. Please subscribe, hit the like, and we'll talk to you soon. Leave a comment too. Tell me which watch I should have got rid of instead of the Pepsi, and voice your opinions there. I know some of you have some very strong ones. So thank you so much for commenting. I'll see you in the comments.